But yeah, I got to play a little bit of Plague Tale Requiem. It is very much more Plague Tale. It's kind of a weird game to demo because I feel like Plague Tale is so much about that narrative and getting invested in the characters and like what's happening. So they're just like, they throw you into like chapter 3 and you're like, I have
still loads of rats, huh?
Yeah, tons of rats. The rat tech is still on point.
Have they trademarked rat tech yet? Because I would.
So.
I want to see the game opened with a logo for rat tech.
Yeah.
Oh, like a
speed tree situation. Yeah.
Yeah, rat tech is good. Those rats are just everywhere. It doesn't feel as big of a like generational leap as the first one, I would say. Like it's definitely going to look better and play better. But as someone who like just recently played Innocence like last year on the Series X, I was like, this looks fairly comparable to what the first one did. I'm sure like some of the like character models and fidelity looks better.
Did it get Series X upgrades?
It did.
It
Yeah.
did.
Yes, and that's how I played it. It's a very good version of that game too. So
it's a great game. I really enjoyed it.
And it picks up where the last game left off, right?
Yes. So I guess slight spoilers for the end of Plague Tale Requiem. But like
You mean
Innocence.
Innocence.
I was about to say, don't you dare spoil this game for me, Jean-Luc.
I don't know the ending. But at the end of that game, they're like, oh, they basically just like leave whatever place they're in, and they're like, we got to go find safety. And then you are in this town. I'm not sure.
Are they still in France?
Is. I think so.
Okay. Is the
Is
town
it called
overrun?
Rattenberg or something like that? I want this game.
No, I was gonna be like, is it a town overrun by cats, like for safety to get at the
Oh,
rats?
that's smart.
That'd be smart.
Yeah.
Rotterdam.
What if that was like we can only defeat these rats with an equally large number of like
Cats.
evil cats? That would be amazing. No, so they're like in this town, and Hugo, the little kid, is like ill, so you have to go find some nightshade for him, and so Amicia and Lucas are like heading off to go find him that like nightshade. Just bad shit's happening constantly. The part of the town is infected with rats, but the guards aren't telling anyone, and they're just murdering everyone in that like area to keep it contained. Eventually you kind of like go through this sort of quarantined area, and then you come out into like the countryside because you're trying to find this like herbalist who's got the medicine. And I would say the interesting thing that they did was for the most part, the gameplay feels very much the same. You know, it's like, okay, like, yep, I got my slingshot, I got my pots, I can throw, like, extinguish or whatever it's called. Igneous? No, Igneous is the one
Igneous
where
is one that turns it, lights it on fire.
You can light on fire, and then it's like extinguish. I don't know. They sound like Harry Potter spells.
Pocket sand.
Basically, yeah, you're like pocket sand. So you can like, disable the lights or the torches, and then like the rats just eat everyone. The whole thing in this one is like, this is like Amicia's like Last of Us Part 2, where it's like, oh, she's like jaded. And,
She's
like,
grizzled.
She's grizzled now.
Yeah.
And so
hench.
every time you kill someone, she'd be like, yeah, you dogs, that's what you deserved. And then like Lucas is like, chill out. Like what is going on?
So does the combat and gameplay kind of reflect her more aggressive experience side? Because I remember a big part of Plague Tale Innocence, as it was called, was like her loss of innocence and how she kind of becomes a cold-blooded killer. Because I'm curious how the game plays itself.
At least in this slice, it was mostly very much the same. Like you still have to be very stealthy. Like you're gonna get like killed right away. But they added some interesting mechanics. Like there's now a counter system where you can actually kind of like push a guy away from you. So it's like she's kind of got a little more. Like, she's a little more feisty now.
Yeah, so you don't have a knife. You're not, like, sneaking up on people and, like, stabbing their throats and shit. No, you can do that.
There is a knife. You do get a knife, and you can go up and straight up stab people. But it's like a one-time...
A knife! No!
It is a one-time use knife, though, so it's...
it's like the shivs in Last of Us.
Yeah, it's a little more strategic.
The worst kind of knife.
I know, because you can only use them once.
I see you've played Knifey Spoony before. Sorry.
Is there a greater focus on combat? I couldn't really, in the gameplay thing that showed up today, like it was mostly combat. I'm like, oh, I kind of missed the more puzzle like stealth.
Stuff.
Yeah,
so
stealth
there's
too.
still plenty of that, and in fact, like kind of one of the culminating areas in the demo was this section where you kind of have to like get through this huge group of enemies, and you definitely have to stealth it. But it felt a little more open than the previous games, where it actually was like, oh, there's clearly multiple different paths I could take, and it's like, oh, I could hide behind here if like a guy shows up, or I could go this way. So it seems like they're trying to expand just sort of like the areas themselves, and it's not just like this linear straight shot to
That's good.
like through each area where it's like there's very clearly like the right way to do it. Like it felt a little more open, which I thought was cool. And then at the end of the demo, there is this whole section where like Amicia is like, oh, screw this. I'm over this. And you just straight up have this like showdown where you kill like 20 guards.
Jeez.
And I like what they're doing with it. I will say some of the voice acting from her got like a little goofy. She's putting on her like Batman voice when she was trying to sound like intense. So she's like, I'm just tired of this, Lucas. I need to kill them all. Like she would like put on this gravelly voice, and I'm
The
like,
origin story of French's first
and I'm just like,
vigilante.
this just kind of reads a little more hokey than like.
I wonder if part of it's the accent too, because I know they all have French accents. So I wonder if like that kind of factors into it a little.
Like I just kind of found it a little more silly than like serious. I was like, okay, all right. But
She's got a crossbow in this one. That'll be
yeah,
fun.
I didn't get to use the crossbow or anything, so I think that's the interesting stuff, because I feel like that is where they would get more into like combat, right, and like really wanting to, because it was still very much like slingshot. You can only hit the guys if they don't have the helmets on,
Yeah.
or that kind of thing. So
Yeah, I think overall I'm just super curious how the combat progression is going to be, because I felt like that was so meaningful in the first game in terms of how you kind of become the master of the environment. You're able to use the rats to help fight things with you. And I know Lucas is sick, so he's not, or not Lucas, the kid, I forget. Hugo is sick, so he's not with you to do that kind of stuff. But I'm curious like how you progress the gameplay with a character who's like already ready to kill, and like I guess it's getting a crossbow, which
the natural progression.
which doesn't feel as natural.
Although,
as,
did you watch the gameplay live stream thing that they
happened
released
today? No,
today?
I didn't get around to it.
I would say there's just this moment where like Amicia is just so hurt that she just turns to Hugo and she's like, no, it's okay, go for it, do it, we have to. And he takes control of the rats, and you use the rats to just kill everyone there. So like controlling the rats.
Like the
He's
DC.
like the DC hero, like he's controlling the rats and directing them to like kill everyone there. So I think there will be a part of the game where like Hugo is.
I think I complete the original. Does he like become Ratman in that?
Essentially,
Becomes
yeah.
the Rat King.
I do not remember that.
yeah,
I don't remember that.
You have like a.
It's very brief.
There's
It's
a
very
showdown with
brief
like
at
a
the
priest.
Yeah, they didn't quite land the
And
ending.
he has the
I
white
thought.
rats, and you have the black rats, and
very-
there's some weird
Oh
like
my
racial
God.
like
Oh,
thing
yeah.
there.
When real video game.
Is this going for like a Last of Us kind of like tone? Like, is it gonna end with Amicia like trying to drown a rat and crying at the same time, or
That's
something?
kind of what it
like that?
feels
I
like.
hope so.
I don't know. if
Yeah,
that's
like the
gonna
Pied
work,
Piper
man.
comes in.
I want the Ellie fight, but with Amicia and a rat, like
Halfway
frame
through.
by
Really?
frame.
Like what? Like
replicated,
like a Dark Souls Bloodborne giant rat.
That's kind of cinematic where they're
Yeah.
like fighting and Amicia's trying to drown the rat, and the rat gets upper hand and tries to
Yeah.
drown her, and it's just like
So
oh,
halfway
God.
through, you get to play the rat.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
You
a
get
good
the
twist.
rat's
yeah.
perspective. Yeah, that would be pretty sick. I'd play that game.
Someone in chat asked, is there a time jump from end of first game to...
I'm not
Second
actually
one.
sure, because again, the demo started me
Oh, yeah.
in partway through the game, so I
Did
don't actually
Hugo
know.
hit puberty?
No,
He doesn't look that much older.
I was gonna say it's got to only be like a few months,
Okay.
if that. Like, there's not like a serious time skip.
Are you excited about this, having finished?
Oh yeah, I'm
the
very
previous
excited
game?
about it. I mean, like I said, as a demo, it's a little more like, yep, this plays like the first game, a couple changes. For me, it's more just like I really got invested in those characters in that world, so I'm like, I just kind of want to see where the story goes. But the gameplay was never like, I don't know, like the gameplay was good, but it was never the strongest part of the game. Like, it felt like it could use more improvement, and I will say that like what I saw in the demo felt more the same, so I'm like a little like I was kind of hoping it to be a little bit more, but also it's still like a very early slice. Like I don't have the crossbow yet. Maybe the crossbow changes everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As crossbows do in games. If I've learned anything, introducing a bow or a crossbow into a game, that's
me.
That's the
done.
mechanic. That's
Assassin's
what you
Creed
need.
Brotherhood, they added a crossbow. Best Assassin's
Far
Creed
Cry,
game.
Oh, yeah.
Far Cry 3. Let's throw a bow and arrow in here.
Yeah.
Change the game.
Yep.
Yep, true. I think the first game was such a surprise for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
That I'm interested to see where they go with it, because then when you have that situation, you're like, we can either stick close to what we unexpectedly delivered on, or we can try and do something different. I hope that it doesn't stick too close, and it seems like some of the stuff that they showed off already was like, we're gonna keep it familiar, but there is opportunity to kind of expand a bit more on it, and my hope is that they do that, because just another one of these games will probably be fine, but it feels like they built so much goodwill with that original game that this is a good moment for them to leverage that and be like, hey, we're more than just a one-trick pony, like one-hit wonder. Yeah, so fingers crossed for that. Is there a release date for it yet?
They announced it today, right?
October 15th?
Yeah.
18th?
Do they have a cool like pun for it as well? Like Rat Day is Among Us.
Hashtag rat day.
Hashtag-
Hashtag get
Rat
rat.
Emergence Day.
Hashtag unleash your rat.